The name N stands for Namyang, home to Hyundai Motor Company's global R&D headquarters in Korea since 1995. But N also stands for the Nürburgring, home to a European test center where the N models were further developed and tested. The close connection between Namyang and the Nürburgring created the foundation for N, the goal being to deliver driving enjoyment. Both locations play a crucial role in developing, testing, and perfecting the responsive handling and vigorous acceleration of our N models. The N logo also resembles the chicane of a racetrack. The tight N curve where the skills of the driver and the balance of the car are rigorously proven. This reflects that our N models are agile vehicles that are fun to drive and represent the ultimate driving experiences, anywhere, including racetracks. When is an engineer finished? The answer is never. Because you can always make it better, always. My name is Tyrone Johnson. I'm the Director for Vehicle Development here at HMETC, Hyundai Motor Europe Technical Center, responsible for all the Hyundai brand development here in Europe to customize the cars, adapt them for the European market. So here at HMETC, we have a dedicated N group that works only on N vehicles, future N products, and they begin with lots of virtual development, simulation work, to then help the designers that are also in the N group that design the parts that have to go in the prototypes. And then once the prototypes are available, we have suspension experts, we have tuning experts, we have tire and wheel people, we have control systems, ESC systems, traction control, launch control systems, brakes systems. That all is contained within the N group itself. But at the rest of HMETC, we also have contributions from NVH, also from brakes in other areas, some suspension contribution, and we can't forget the central part of every car, the engine and the transmission, which is also calibrated and developed here at HMETC. And then the first thing that customers always see is the car itself, and of course design. N design is also here at HMETC. So at Hyundai, we have a very robust development process throughout the years it takes to develop a new car, a new platform, and N models follow that process also. What's unique about N is that we take the specific performance systems, the systems that are really geared to meeting their characteristics that we want to achieve in N, and we dive into these systems very, very deep and develop them just that little bit more to really maximize them. And a crucial part of that is the work that we do at the Nürburgring on the Nordschleife that really challenges the car and brings out all the errors that a car might have so that we can fix them to get them really to the maximum level. We have to remember that Hyundai N was born out of participation in WRC, the World Rally Championship. And there's always a two-way relationship between motorsports and production cars. It's always a constant give and take, with the elements of each type of car being used to improve the next. Everything we learn from motorsports is fed back into the R&D process, and we use these learnings for the next car in the N range or the next performance project. And what we look for is not necessarily the fastest car, because many brands target only the highest performance. We're looking for fun to drive. We have a metric internally. Instead of RPM, we use BPM, so beats per minute. How much the customer gets excited driving the car, how much emotion the customer is able to give to the car, to his driving experience. And that really is our main focus. The three pillars that we try to achieve are everyday sports car, a corner rascal, and racetrack capability in the end products. And if the customer feels those three pillars while he's driving our cars, then we've been successful, and that's what we strive for. One of the things that we've added now is a new DCT 8-speed transmission, which really adds a completely new character to the car from previous models. It includes also 3 modes: the power shift, the grin shift, and the track sense shift, which really adds the complete N character to the cars. N brand, being a performance car, is always a little bit of a special challenge to make the performance a little bit closer to the limit. And so for an engineer, it's always a pleasure to be challenged in this way, to find yet that little more improvement, that little bit more on the edge of a performance car, so that the customers can really feel the car on the road And we test everything on the car right from the beginning. The engines, transmission, the suspension systems, steering systems, those kinds of things. Depending on what's available in the first prototype, everything gets tested immediately. We have a very extensive, exhaustive testing program that we have on each prototype phase to make sure that we're really optimizing all the systems. This is, again, about diving very deep into the various systems and optimizing them as much as possible. And this is really sort of an iterative process. If we optimize the suspension, then we have to adapt the steering. We change the steering, we have to adapt the suspension, or maybe some other parts of the car, the wheels and tires of the car. It always gets better and better and better as we go through the development process. And then we start over again in the next prototype phase, taking the knowledge from the previous phase. The next prototype phase may have some additional systems that the previous phase didn't have, and we begin again until we come to a final product. And if we don't meet that, then we have to keep working. For an N car, really everything is important. There's nothing that's not important. So the driver experience really is a sum of many different feelings and performance levels of the car, including sound. Everything that the car does in terms of acceleration, steering, the corner carving, the rev matching, including the sound, really influences how the customer is satisfied. So sound is really a very crucial part of the N character development, and we spend quite a bit of effort in making sure the sound is just right on N vehicles, because it contributes really to the experience that the customer has in the car. The i30N was hugely successful. The i20N, early feedback that we're getting, will be equally as successful. But then there's a customer segment that wants a slightly different car, appreciates all the N characteristics that we've been able to achieve and deliver. But this customer wants a slightly different car with perhaps a little bit more roominess, perhaps a little bit more entering and exiting the car, perhaps a higher driving stance than some of the others. And so the Kona really fits that precisely. And so we will include all the things that we learned in i30 and i20 into the Kona N, and we're sure it'll be equally successful. Hyundai is a company that's well known for high technology products. So we really offer a lot of products across the full spectrum, and since N is always technology driven, I'm sure we'll be part of the future technology also.